On our last training, we reviewed the homepage. We looked at the collection success. We took a look at the messages over to the left-hand side here on the sidebar navigation, and we talked about what each of these are. Today we're going to talk about searching and account overviews. So there are two places to search for a customer's account. The first one is going to be under the Accounts, All Accounts page. What this is going to pull up is all of our standard late accounts. You can see there's many different views on here. So if I wanted to see all of my accounts, I could select all. And this is going to show me all of my 996 accounts. So this is one way, again, to search for a particular customer. You could come in here and you could type in a customer's name, and this will pull up the particular customer that you're looking for. Another way to search for a customer's account is by utilizing the search bar at the top here. This is a universal search bar that will allow you to search for a customer by either the customer ID or the customer's name. In order to search for a customer, I simply type in the customer's name, I hit select, and since I'm on the Accounts All Accounts page, I need to click on the overview to see the customer's account. As you can see here, we now have the account overview. So this is going to be the customer's page. It's really broken down into three components. It's broken down into the statement of accounts, which is what you'll see up here. It's going to then show you all of the activities associated with the customer down here. And last but not least, you're going to see account level notes down here. As a reminder, when searching for a customer in the universal search bar, you're only going to find customers that have a balance on their account. If you need to search for a customer with a $0 balance, make sure that you click this little box to the left of the customer's name. As you can see, this includes customers with a $0 balance. There are two places to create activities once you're on the customer's account. Right next to the customer's name, there is an icon, and that will create an activity. Or right here under the statements of accounts, there is the option to create a new activity. Typically, when creating an activity from the statements of accounts, we would tag different invoices to associate with the activity itself. If we aren't associating invoices and tagging them, we can just come here and select a new activity next to the customer's name. This is going to pull up the customer, all of the activities that we can do on behalf of the customer. I always like to start over to the left-hand side here and work my way over. The first thing that we're going to want to do is select the activity type. There's lots of different activity types in here. The ones that you're going to use the most is going to be a note, if you're adding a note onto the customer's account. If you're creating an expected payment, a dispute, if you're sending an email. So if we were to create a note on this account here, we would select note. We would name our issue. And here we would start to type in our notes. Maybe customer said they were going to pay all invoices by end of month. I always like to put the date right here, and I'll show you why in a second, but I like to make sure to have the date included. I did say in here that the customer said they were going to pay all their invoices by the end of the month. For me, I'd like to schedule a follow-up to just make sure that we do get these invoices by the end of the month. In order to schedule a follow-up, I need to select the follow-up right here. It's going to automatically assign it to whoever you're logged in as. So it's going to assign it to yourself. If you need to assign this to someone else on your team, you absolutely can. But I am creating a follow-up for myself. We have the time zone, and then I'm going to put the follow-up date. So I said by the end of the month, which is the 30th. So I'll put a follow-up for the end of the month. You can also do a particular time of the day that you would like to create a follow-up. Response days, response date, these two you don't need to use. These were built a while back and don't have much function now. So from there, I would hit save. And if I scroll down here, I can see, let's go ahead and refresh here. I can see the note that I just created. If I hover over the notes here, I can see the date that I created the note, and I can also see that there was a follow-up that is associated with this note. So when the end of the month comes on the 30th, I will get a notification under my messages here that says follow-up due today. So on September 30th, I'll get that notification. If I don't take care of that follow-up on that day, the following day, it will move from follow-up due today to follow-up past due. And then I can take care of the issue at hand there. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to test out sending an email. So what's really nice about Lockstep is that you can tag invoices to any activity that you're creating. And that just helps you keep track of what it is that you're talking about, what invoices that you're talking about. If you ever need to, speak to the customer about a particular activity and you want to reference an invoice, it'll automatically be tagged to the activity. In order to tag an invoice, you're going to select these here. If you want to select them all, you can select this button here. As a reminder, this selects all of the invoices only on this page. So if we want to include all invoices, we would need to increase the page size to include all of the invoices. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to select a few invoices, and then I'm going to select new activity. As you can see, it automatically defaults to a note, but for the purpose of this, I would like to send the customer an email on behalf of these particular invoices. So I'm going to select send email. We can see it named our issue, send email, in here. And from here, if I go to the transactions, I can actually see what invoices have been tagged and are associated with this particular activity. Just by tagging these invoices, this doesn't actually include copies of the PDFs into the email. I would like to actually copy these PDFs onto the email itself so that the customer has access to these PDFs in the email. If I go to attachments, I need to select attach tagged invoices. This here populates the invoices that we just tagged. As a reminder, do not select these unless you want to exclude them from the emails. So just leave them as is here. I would go back to my email and I would select the two. So whoever, these are all of the contacts that are associated with this account. I could CC whoever I would like to, and I would put in here invoice copies. From there, I would type in the body of of the message that I would like to send to the customer. Something like, hello customer, here are the invoice copies that you requested. And from there I would hit save and send. That would send an email to the customer with the copies of the invoices that they requested. Something that I also like to keep in mind is it's really nice that this calculates the total amount that's been tagged to the activity itself. So if you ever need to reference this and say, hello customer, here are the copies of the invoices which total to $51,113.38, you have that reference right here. Again, I would hit save and send. Another example is a customer may call in and you talk to them about, some particular invoices that they've inquired about. So again, we would search for the customer account, which we already have pulled up here. Maybe they're talking about these invoices here. We're going to want to tag those and create a new activity. We'll mark this as a phone call. And this is where we would again put some notes. So we'll put the date, spoke to customer about invoices. They need to check their internal system to make sure the checks have been processed. Okay, so you could put some notes in there. And you'll see here, there's this little box that says spoke with customer. If we did in fact speak with the customer, we do want to select that, and I'll show you why. From there, we could create a follow-up for ourselves if we want to reach back out to the customer in a few days from now, which we just went over in the previous activity. But from here, I'm going to hit save, and we'll see that this was saved as a completed phone call. So when I scroll all the way down here, I see this little checkbox next to the phone, and this allows us to see that this was a successful phone call. It's really important to track this so that you can see how many times you've reached out to the customer and whether or not you were able to get a hold of them. I'm going to go back up now and I'm going to show you what it looks like with an unsuccessful phone call. Again, we have these invoices tagged. We're going to create a new activity. We will mark this as a phone call. And then we're going to put our notes in here. Spoke to customer and any additional information. I am not going to select this. Let's actually change this to something like left voicemail for customer, because we were not able to get a hold of them. From there, I'm going to hit save. And when I scroll down here, this is going to show me that I had an unsuccessful phone call. So that's what the difference looks like. I'm going to pull up this activity here, this issue that we have, and maybe I wanted to continue to work on this and didn't want to create a brand new one. So from here, I would select new activity. I'm going to copy my notes from my previous phone call. And this is why I said I like to include the dates. So just to keep yourself organized. Customer said they had an issue with their system and their IT manager would get a hold of me by the end of the week. Okay, so we just added additional notes to the previous activity that we had here. and we spoke with the customer. And for this one, I would schedule a follow-up again for myself just because I want to make sure that I stay on top of their IT manager getting back to me. So I would schedule a follow-up for the end of the week. Okay. And from there, I would just hit save. All right. I'm going to go over a few more activities. So I'm going to select the new activity here. And from here, I'm going to select the one that says expected payment or a promise to pay. So say that I, spoke with the customer and they said that they were going to make a payment by the end of this week. I need to select my transactions. These are the invoices that we previously had tagged. Maybe they said that they were only going to pay these two. Maybe we want to see all of their past due invoices. So we'll select that. That'll open up all of our past due invoices. We can select other invoices. So let's say it happened to be these 4 invoices that the customer said that they were going to pay. You can see here that it calculated the amount totals for those 4 invoices. And then we would put a payment date. So we would select a date that the customer said that they were going to make a payment by. I usually like to give the customer, about a week. So if they say that they're going to pay on the 25th, I'd probably give them a little bit more time. We'll give them till the 7th. And we want to select the customer promise, okay? From there, we're going to hit save right here. And if we scroll down, we can see that we created an expected payment. We tagged invoices, and you can see right here with this $sign that it is an expected payment on the account. What will happen is if we don't receive the funds by the date that the customer promised and that we put into the activity here, so if we don't receive the funds by October 7th, we will get a notification in here under broken promise, letting us know that the customer created a promise to pay. They said that they were going to pay by a certain date. We haven't received the funds. That's a red flag to us that we need to then reach out to the customer and follow up with them to see where these funds are. That is all for today. Thank you for your time.